How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back with another reaction video, and today we're here to continue the Every Pokemon Explained from Loxton and G-Noggin. Yay, yay. I think I spit something on my lip. I don't know. That's disgusting. Now, real quick, I just came from an amazing run. Kind of amazing. Like a, 30-40 minute run. My legs hurt less than the first time I ran, which was last week. In a while, it was painful. But I'm mentioning this because I almost tripped while running on the ground. Literally, it was on rocks, but I already did a rock type video. So this makes even more sense because the ground almost caught me lacking and almost made me bust on my knee, my butt, on something. But I regained my balance because I'm a good guy. I'm a cool guy. But yeah, I just want to mention that real quick. I feel good right now, and I'm curious to see these different ground types, especially explained as well. Again, from the last video, which was poison type, I mentioned that I have beef with the ground type Pokemon. Specifically if they're ground and water. Because I'm like, man, my only electric move or Pokemon can't hurt you. And I don't have a grass type on my entire roster. And so I have beef with ground type now. But yeah, let's start this. Enough of me yapping. Take it away, Loxton and G-Noggin.
Pokemon, oh how you're diverse.
Okay.
From flappies with wingies to groundies in the dirts.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave poems to poets. I think
No,
instead
you
I'll
took
do
it
what
with
I
it.
do best, and that is explaining Pokemon typing. And next up is the
captions.
ground type Pokemon.
Let's get it.
It's odd to think that ground is an original typing. It's not a special case like dark.
I'm sorry, my mic's in the way. My fault. I ruined that entire flow. There we go. Let's get it
Odd
back.
to think that
Let's
ground
get it
is an
back.
original typing. It's not a special case like dark or fairy, added in for balancing and fluff. No, ground was in the original game. I'd like to think that they had to fill 15 types because that's one less than 2 bytes of data, but who knows. But when it comes to typing, ground has always been the underdog of the elemental types.
I see what you did there,
That
but
is until
really?
Landorus came in and ruined the whole competitive
genie?
meta and basically made high-end Pokemon team design boring, and that's a lot of hoopla if you ask
Hoopla.
me. But we're not here to discuss meta. We are here to discuss the
Yeah, meta's
inspiration
boring.
and design of all of.
Speaking of beef, right here, one of my ultimate ops, Groundon. Oof. I have beef with this red land creature, ground fire. I have beef with you. Oof. Ooh, we go way back. Not really though, but we go way back,
Ground
Groundon.
type Pokemon. So what makes a Pokemon ground type? Is it a way of life or is it the ability to spray sand? And come to think of it, why is ground even different than rock type? When you really get down to it, rocks are just compacted minerals.
See, that's
while
what I was
ground
wondering
is
this
the same
entire
minerals,
time playing
but less
Pokemon.
compacted. Ugh. Think dirt, sand, dust, loose soil, small rocks like gravel? Well, let's go ahead and go over all of the ground type Pokemon, regardless of this confusion. Like normal, rather than going through by Pokedex number, we're going to split them up into a few groups based on similar explanations and go from there. First up, we have Pokemon that live underground or frequently burrow into the ground.
Right,
These are all
Dugtrio,
ground
Dug.
type because of their entire way of life, frequently, if not always, underground. You probably haven't heard of them. Let's start with Sandshrew and Sandslash. These little dudes love to hide in the soft sands of the deserts they inhabit,
okay. I
waiting
like
for their
Sandshrew.
prey to come
Or
near.
Sandslash, I
The
think
brick
is the
pattern on
second one.
Sandshrew supposedly is camouflage, used to blend in with the brickwork of the ancient temples they dig around in the desert.
okay.
Diglett and Dugtrio, both Alolan and normal forms, love to burrow underground and dig for food and protection. They spend their whole lives at least halfway in there. And did you know that Diglett can retract its head back into the ground at the speed of light? That's right.
No,
the
I
speed of
did not
light.
know that.
Old
Wait,
school
what?
Pokemon are pretty crazy when
Wait,
you
what?
think about it. And since nobody has seen the bottom of a Diglett, it is
I'm
somewhat
not.
theorized that when they go into the ground, they actually become dirt, which sounds crazy, but it would
okay.
also explain their magical speed underground. Drillbur and Excadrill are based off of
Excadrill, I remember
moles, if
that
that
one.
wasn't obvious by the brown coloration, cylindrical body, pointed nose, and oh yeah, and the huge shovel-like hands. How could I forget those? They turn into a drill when they clamp them together. and
That's pretty
spins.
cool, though.
It's
That's a
really
cool
dumb. I
move.
love it. And
It
some of
does.
them can dig at speeds of 30 miles an hour, which
That's
is
fast.
absolutely ridiculous.
That is fast.
But I still think Diglett has them beat just
He's not Diglett doesn't count.
He is a rabbit that packs a powerful.
What is that?
Yeah, those ears are actually huge muscular arms, complete
Yeah,
with the
right.
little elbow thingy. See, right there. Interestingly, it uses these arms, or ears, to excavate and dig tunnels.
Oh,
That's
okay,
probably why
got
they're
it,
all
okay.
dirty all the time. Nincada is based off of the cicada in
See, when I saw that Pokemon and that was like I was doing with my friend, I thought it was just a bug Pokemon. I didn't know it was ground, but he's about to tell me why it's ground in a second.
Probably why they're all dirty all the time.
Okay.
Nincada is based off of the cicada insect.
Alright.
If you've seen the BBC shows, then you probably know that some of these insects burrow and live underground for 17 years solid. So they for sure are ground type because of this.
That makes
also,
sense.
The
Okay.
Pokedex entry states that they dig nests under trees to get nutrients from them. As for Nidoqueen and Nidoking, you wouldn't guess it from their ability to stand on hind legs, their large stature, and multiple spines, but these Pokemon do in fact burrow. Nidoqueen is known for digging burrows for its young and fiercely protecting them. They also have very tough, rough scales. You could say that they are as tough as the earth. And plus, digging burrows to house themselves and their young would take quite a bit of mastery of the ground and how it works, seeing as they are like 4 foot on average.
They're poison,
dig
right?
huge holes that still support their weight on the top. They got like dirt and rock rebar in there or something. So that's it for Pokemon that are excellent at digging and burrowing in the ground, and that being the origin of their typing. This mastery of dirt, soil, and sand would be why they have the ground typing. And I guess that's all typing is, really. Being able to master, use, or become the elements you are a master of.
I want to watch that
Second
show
up
again.
are Pokemon that have ground-like properties, like rough skin, or they commonly have dirt or mud on them as an extra layer of protection. Some of them still cross into the previous category, though, but, you know. Organization's hard. Cubone and Marowak both wear a skull.
Cubone, I know about the Cubone. I know about the story, the skull. I know about it. Depressing, dark. You gotta have your dark lore in there somewhere with the Pokemon and other anime.
Skull of their deceased mother. Whatever that mother.
He just mentioned it, alright.
Cubone and Marowak both wear a skull of their deceased mother. Whatever that mother may be. Sadly, this little factoid is apparently the only bit of interest Cubone and Marowak have, because the Pokedex does not shed much light on anything else about them. It gives no information at all about why it's ground type either. It doesn't even learn many ground type moves. Maybe it's due to these Pokemon living in dry savanna lands. Or maybe it's due to their brownish color. Or maybe the skull is just really, really dusty. Those are all really dumb reasons. Though interestingly, every bone-related Pokemon move like Bone Club, Bone Moraine, and Bone Rush are ground type as well. Perhaps Game Freak used the logic that bones are often buried in the ground, and as they decay, they turn into dust and return to dirt. Thus, bones are ground type.
I can get behind that one.
It's a lot better than making a whole new type, like a bone type or something. Fanpy and Donphan are both kinda hard to pick out why they're ground too. Fanpy digs small holes near rivers for shelter and loves to dry themselves off with dirt baths, much like how real African elephants dust themselves to protect themselves from the sun. But besides this factoid, there's no real reason for Fanpy to be ground type. In fact, Fanpy can't even learn any ground type moves without the help of man-made TMs.
Then why is it ground then? Why is it a ground type if you can't learn what? If you can't learn ground moves, why are you a ground type Pokemon? That's just why? Because from my small brain, Pokemon small brain right now, when I see this Pokemon, I'm thinking, oh, you're blue. I know, bad assumption. You must be a water type Pokemon. So I would immediately go with an electric move just to find out it would not work because it is a ground type. And then I would start being like, why are we doing this, ground? why are we being like this? But it doesn't learn a single ground move. Maybe in like the newer games, maybe it does. But really? That's kind of weird.
Fanpy can't even learn any ground-type moves without the help of man-made TMs, meaning it should probably be normal-type. But hey, it digs. And it has tough skin, I guess,
I mean, it wouldn't
so
be
it's
water,
brown. Sure. Donphan makes more sense, though. It continues to do more of the same things as Fanpy, and it is noted that it frequently clears mudslides off of pathways, possibly showing off its ground-like abilities. Most noteworthy, though, is how low to the ground it is, especially when it rolls itself up and basically becomes a tire. In order to roll on the ground at high speeds like this, you need to know the way the ground tends to work very well. Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon are based off of antlions, a ground-dwelling insect that digs a pit in soft dirt or sand and then uses that as a trap to catch other insects. This line of Pokemon gets the ground type from this larval form of Trapinch, and it basically just keeps the ground type as Vibrava and Flygon. Flygon, however, is also known as the Desert Spirit, due to its wings creating a song-like melody along with its ability to whip up sandstorms constantly. Although, Sandstorm is a rock move, for whatever reason. Though there are also some...
This? Wait. Oh, probably because you get pelted by debris. Maybe that's why I consider it a rock move, Sandstorm, because of debris in the sandstorm. Because you... That's kind of weird. Oh well.
Oh, Sandstorm is a rock move. for whatever reason. Though there are also some dragonflies known as sand dragons, and sand is on the ground, usually. This one's reasonings beyond Trapinch is pretty weak, besides being based on the antlion, I guess. Sandile, Crocorock, and Crocodile are
Hey, my boy, Crocodile! Dap me up, it's been a minute. Where my sunglasses at? Is over there. Thank it. My boy, Crocodile.
Besides being based on the antlion, I guess. Sandile, Crocorock, and Crocodile are
Crocodile, dap me up.
shifty much like the sand they live in. Unlike most crocodiles, there is one species in Africa that digs, burrows, and thrives in sand or soft soil. This came about as the rivers they live in sometimes dry up during the dry season, so they had to make do and learn some new things. These particular crocs are definitely the basis for the crook line. Rhyhorn, Rhydon, and Rhyperior were basically fully explained in the rock type video. You can click to see that.
Yeah.
There, we explained that they aren't actually rock, and you guessed it, their second type ground is wrong also. Well, not really.
Huh?
Rather,
Wait,
rock
what?
type video, you can click here to see that. There, we explained that they aren't actually rock, and you guessed it, their second type ground is wrong also. Well, not really. Rather, it's just a really weak connection again.
Let me hear it.
Rhyhorns are ground because of the area they live in and the habits they show. Like most rhinos, this line lives in the savanna and loves to roll in the mud. Yep, they get their rock type from their rock-like hide that they then cover in mud to possibly kill parasites on their body. And this muddiness, along with them being pretty darn close to the ground, equals them being ground type too. Or perhaps their hide is somewhere in between ground hardness and rock hardness. So they're like both of them.
Okay, I can get behind that
and
second one.
are both based off of the scorpion fly. Yes, the bug from your nightmares.
Get that
Pokédex
away
entries
from me, I
state
didn't
that
know
it
about
hops
that.
along the ground, and it likes to glide from their cliffside nests, which are just holes in the cliff. So, underground burrows. Gligar, despite its wings, are actually unable to fly on their own.
Oh, that's
Instead,
crazy.
they just fall with style. So it's like a
they can
grounded
glide?
bat flying squirrel thing. It can
Bat
only
squirrel
glide,
glide.
hence
Yeah,
the
okay.
name.
Yeah.
Torterra is pretty self-explanatory.
Torterra. Ever since I watched the anime stuff, like anime videos of you Torterra, I'm just like, dang. Go back in evolution, and go back in evolution a little bit.
Squirrel thing.
Just go back a little bit. Go back to
Hence the
Turtwig or
name.
like the second
Torterra
one.
is pretty self-explanatory. There's a bunch of terra on this tort. It has
Yeah,
enough dirt
yeah.
or ground on its shell that a tree has sprouted up on it. I mean, how else could a plant grow on an animal? Mudbray and Mudsdale are both donkey horse things that love to root around in the mud.
I
This
know there's
mud
a
is
donkey
also used as a
Pokemon.
grip for its legs to help give it more traction due to its job of pulling huge loads.
Okay.
And Mudsdale, well, they eat dirt. And they spit it all over things like themselves
Sure you
and
do.
walls, because they're just that kind of Pokemon. Burmy and Wormadam, both specifically with the sandy coat that it uses as defense, is a bagworm that uses things in its environment to create a shell for it to live in. This one just so happens to be in a desert, or possibly a beach, so it created a sandy house. Now
Makes
for
sense.
some mud Pokemon.
Oh,
These
let's get
Pokemon
the
are
mud,
ground
the
type
mud
secondarily,
boys.
and are water type primarily. And the
Oh,
reason they aren't just water
water
type is
around.
because they just love the mud so much.
Here we go.
Be it
There's
a
no
muddy
mud
puddle
kid.
or just mud at the bottom of a body of water. It's just so great. Wooper and Quagsire are based off of
Right here, see these two right here scare me every single time I see them pop up. Cause I'm thinking, oh god, it's a Wobbuffet. It's not a Wobbuffet. It's just Wooper and Quagsire. This one right here, I have beef with Quagsire the most. Out of any water ground Pokemon, I have beef with the Quagsire the most. Cause this man is deadly. This man is deadly. He ruined the run. I mean, we just started, but it was like he ruined the run because he's so deadly. Oh gosh.
just mud at the bottom of a body of water. It's just so great. Wooper and Quagsire are based off of a very large salamander known as the giant salamander. This line loves to live in marshes and quagmires, large swampy bodies of
I was
muddy
waiting
water
for a
and
quagmire
soft ground.
joke.
They just love to bury themselves in the mud, which is just like Stunfisk. It also buries itself under the mud.
Ew,
This way, it
what
can
is
become
that?
one with the mud.
Get that away from
Feel
me.
the mud. Be the mud.
Okay.
And wait for prey to get close enough for it to strike
Camouflage
without
is in the
warning.
mud,
Fish
okay.
gotta eat. Also, fun fact, the Pokedex thought that this was a very important bit of knowledge that you should know about. The skin of a Stunfisk is so strong, a sumo wrestler can step on it and it won't be hurt. You know, because I measure durability by how many sumos can step on it. I guess that means that Stunfisk is as tough as the ground, eh? Since sumos are able to step on the ground too, and the ground is fine usually. Marshtomp and Swampert both find their home in marshlands and swamps, if the names didn't give that away. It is also also said that Marshtomp is able to swim through mud faster than water, so either it's a terrible swimmer, or it just has some mastery over the ground more so than a mastery of water. Some, like, weird ground powers. Barboach and Wishcash are based off of catfish, which just love to live on or under a layer of mud at the bottom of a river. Pretty simple. Gastrodon is kind of a quandary. Pretty much the only reason it's ground type is because they are based off of a sea slug, a water-dwelling creature that lives out its life on the ground of the ocean. Now, I know some of you are going to say that sea slugs can swim, and you'd be right, but it just so happens that the two slugs that Gastrodon is based off of don't. They're just on the seafloor, stuck to the ground. Hence the ground typing. Palpitoad and Seismitoad also...
Oh my god, what is that? How about I say, oh look, Palpitoad, I remember Palpitoad, but I have never, it evolves? What is this? Oh heavens no. Get that man away from me. No. Whoa. I'm not throwing a Pokeball at it. It might be strong, but no, I don't like how you're looking at me.
Stuck to the ground.
You got muscles too?
Ground typing. Palpitoad and Seismitoad also live in marshlands and swamps, and using these large sacs on their bodies, they can vibrate at such a rate that they can create huge waves in the muddy water, or even create an...
Right now, you can get Disney Plus.
If there's an AMV of Seismitoad in action, let me know. I need to watch that. I need to see how he fights, how it fights, how the entity fights. And we're back.
Earthquake. Next are Pokemon that are ground type due to the area that they live in, mainly regions like savannas and plains. They use their environment for protection, or as tools to capture their prey. Now for Gibble, Gabite, and Garchomp. First we have Gibble, who loves to dig and play in the dirt, the sand, the dust, the mud, whatever they happen to be close to, which is most commonly the ground, since they are just so short. Gabite is also known to dig, but it digs with a purpose, for buried treasure and gems. Much like a true dragon.
Get that treasure.
They just love to hoard treasure. Garchomp, then, is more of the same.
That makes sense.
They
Okay,
mainly
why is
live
dragon
in
dead,
caves
kind
under
of.
the ground and like to dig. Plus, this whole line is based on the idea of land sharks, a mythical animal that is literally a shark but on the land instead of in the water. And what is the land made of? The ground.
Right.
But hey, that's just a theory. Now for Swinub, Pillow-Swine, and Memo-Swine. Swinub is a cute little guy that loves to dig and wallow in mud or dirt looking for anything it can eat. It also has tiny stubs for legs, making it super close to the ground. It and the ground become one. Pillow-Swine is the same, and it actually eats the dirt too, meaning it is even closer to being one with the ground. Got all that tasty dirt on their insides, yum. That is until it evolves and gets real legs. But Mamoswine also digs and chucks up huge rocks with its tusks. It's quite powerful.
So
Larvitar is supposedly able to eat an entire mountain's worth of dirt and minerals before it will evolve into Pupitar, which is then buried.
Sorry, I had to sneeze real quick. Thank you. Wait a minute. Larvitar, the cocooned one, but then Tyranitar, I believe, is rock dark. So how does it just lose? How does it just lose ground? I gotta wait to find out.
Entire mountain's worth of dirt and minerals before it will evolve into Pupitar, which is then buried deep beneath the ground until it itself evolves and then loses the ground.
Yeah, it loses the ground.
If you literally eat dirt and dig through a mountain, then yeah, you're obviously made of ground, so ground type. Numel and Camerupt are both ground camels that love fire. In fact, they have magma inside of them. And
Magma makes sense, why, yeah.
You guessed it, soft rock, and soft rock is basically ground. They eat the ground and stuff too to make that magma inside of them. And they also love to just sit around volcanoes and let volcanic ash fall on them, which I'm not sure if that helps their ground typingness, but yeah, it's a fun fact. Groudon should be obvious. I mean, the name pretty much has ground in it. Plus, it's the legendary Pokemon of the ground. It created the ground on the earth, and it is constantly at war with Kyogre.
Yeah, I didn't know it created the ground on the... I knew about the war with Kyogre, but I didn't know it created the ground on the earth. So that means every time I'm walking through Kanto's, Johto, Hoto, whatever, I'm walking on Groudon's ground. That's his turf. No wonder he shows up every single time I play the game.
It created the ground on the earth, and it is constantly at war with Kyogre, which is the Pokemon which created the sea. Groudon is a master of land and can move continents, and in its Omega form is also a master
That was a cool
of
fight,
magma,
I remember that.
being both ground and fire type. And magma is what makes the ground, bubbling up from the ocean depths to create new continents and islands. So again, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
And now we reach Landorus again.
What?
Where do we even start with
Please
this?
tell me.
First off, I've never been a fan of the nature trio, and most of all, Landorus. And what kind of nature is just flying, electric, and ground anyway? Well, Landorus's name basically explains it. He is ground due to his mastery over the ground.
Okay.
It is said that just his presence is enough to make the entire land fertile and lush. He gives new life to the soil that he comes close to, so he is definitely related to the ground and the land as a whole. Kind of like his name suggests. And finally, after listing all of those Pokemon that are not actually the ground, but rather just live around the ground or might have a few ground powers, we reach Pokemon that actually are ground or use ground internally.
Okay.
Hippopotas and Hippowdon both spew out sand that they use
them.
to keep the germs off of themselves. What? Well, that's what the Pokedex says, not me. I don't even know.
About that.
Can they spew sand at such an accuracy they can kill individual germs? I don't... And also, instead of perspirating, they release sand out of their pores. So this sand really is just sweat, and that's terrifying. Imagine what that feels like.
I don't want
And when evolved into Hippowdon, it stores sand inside of its body for use in creating small sandstorms, which again is a rock-type move. So I don't know. Voltoy and Claydol are both based off of clay dolls, and you guessed it, they are both made of clay, which is a type of ground.
Yep.
Sandygast and Palosand are...
Alright, now we've gone too far. Alright, okay. Alright, Pokemon people, let's get closer real quick. Telling me got sandcastles as Pokemon? You're telling me right now on that screen, I'm looking at 2 sandcastles as Pokemon. Get out of here. No, actually, get out of here. What do you mean these are sandcastle Pokemon? What? What are we doing? What gen is this? 7, 8? Like, what is this?
Guessed it, they are both made of clay, which is a type of ground. Sandygast and Palosand are literal piles of sand. Some kid at some point made a sandcastle, and a passing by ghost just happened to possess it. So it is now literally sand. So, literally the ground. Golett and Golurk are as the name suggests. They are golems. Now, if you don't know what a golem is, let me explain. Take a non-living material of some sort and shape it into a humanoid figure, and then give life to it through some magical means. In the case of these Pokemon, they seem to be made from ceramic armor, made from soft clay to be exact. In Hebrew mythology, which is the origin of the golem, clay was best for making golems as you were able to infuse magic to it as it hardens. Unlike iron or steel that are hard and repel magic, clay is natural and easy to work with. Is this ground fairy then? Some myths even state that it actually has to be clay or mud, as no other material would accept the life-giving magic. Geodude, Graveler, and Golem seem to be ground type based off of where they live, as their alolan forms lose the ground type in favor of electric, though the rock type remains, which is likely because of the fact that they are literally rocks. Rock type and ground type seem to go hand in hand, as, after all, rocks wear down and break down, and then the ground is left over. Graveler is the most obvious ground type in the trio, as he's made up of loose pea gravel. They also all live in mountainous areas and hide amongst the dirt and rocks. Golem is likely full of dirt, clay, and rocks and stuff, and Geodude he's Geodude. Let's just leave it at that. Onyx and Steelix, I think.
I mean, he's Geodude. Geo's in the name. Earth, ground.
He's Geodude. Let's just leave it at that. Onyx and Steelix, I think, could go into the previous category, as they are both able to tunnel through the ground at rapid speeds, but they may also be part ground or have ground within them. We really don't know that as a fact, though, just some theories. They have rock or steel outer shells, but then they are likely filled with gravel or dirt innards, maybe some crystals. And lastly, we have Zygarde, the guardian of the ecosystem. And
Zygarde's ground? I didn't know Zygarde was ground. Oh shoot. Okay, that's unexpected. I did not. I thought Zygarde was just like I don't know. Ground was not on the bingo card. It was not on my bingo card at all. He was a ground type. It was a ground type.
And lastly, we have Zygarde, the guardian of the ecosystem and protector of the Earth. It makes sense for it to be the ground type, as most of the Earth and the ecosystem relies on the ground being healthy. Zygarde is also sort of able to see or feel through the ground, as if it is perfectly one with the Earth itself. Truly, the master of the ground elements overall. Groudon can suck
Yeah,
it.
get
So
yeah,
there
exactly.
you have it.
I feel you.
Ground-type
Groudon can suck
Pokemon
it.
explained. The vast majority of them are in fact not actually made of ground, but rather being ground type seems to primarily just mean that they spend a lot of their time in, under, and around the ground. Their lives revolve around dirt, sand, and soil. And it also adds some meta to the gameplay. So there's that. So if you liked this video, be sure to check out the rest of the types we've done so far, and tell me down below what type I should cover next. Also, hey, I don't feel like I say this enough, but thank you. Thanks so much to all of you. The support you guys give makes this whole series, heck, this whole channel truly worth doing. And an especially special thank you to the Patreon supporters. I still think it's crazy what you guys are doing, but it really helps everything on this channel happen, and I am eternally grateful for that. A lot more changes and tweaks are happening in the near future, and it is all thanks to the amazing support of everyone, especially you, because you watched this video all the way through. Thank you.
That's
so
fun.
much.
That was fun. Oh,
Right,
no, wait, Dark, no. Stop, Dark, no. Later. Alright, that was a good video. That was a good video right there. I think that might be my favorite one so far from like the Pokemon Explained series, ground type. I don't know. Rock was kind of interesting in Steel. Poison is poison, you know, self-explanatory. But okay. No, this makes more sense now because some Pokemons don't look like they're ground type, but they've been around ground and like basically like living ground. So ground. There were some surprises like Zygarde being a ground type, did not expect that, but when he explained it, it makes a ton of sense now, because I remember that fight in the AMV that we watched a while back. What was it, Seismic Toad? Yeah, that one, that's scary. That one looks scary. Not scary, but it looks like oh. Maybe there's like an audience that likes Seismic Toad, like how I like Sirfetch'd. Real quick, is there a flying ground type Pokemon? Because I thought Flygon might be a flying Pokemon as well, but I think it might be Dragon Ground. I could be wrong on that, but is there a flying ground Pokemon? Because that's just like whoa, that's a cheat code. That's like, hey, what am I about to do now? What works against that actually? Not electric, not grass, because flying beats grass. Wait, yeah, no, what beats flying ground? Water. Water beats it, because flying is not a, yeah, water beats flying ground. Okay. So join me next time when we're gonna look at the dark Pokemon type explained, which I need some explanation on that, because I do know that dark type is basically evil in Japan, but I still need some more explanation on like what's considered a dark type Pokemon. That one's gonna be interesting. I feel. But yeah, just some more videos I want to check out. So hope you enjoy my reaction, and thank you for watching. MyCupOfTea's out of here. Deuces, everybody. I thought I could escape Groudon, my ultimate enemy. Is Groudon then the Wobbuffet? They're like my ultimate enemies, both of those two. They are scary, and whenever I fight against a Groudon in the Nuzlocke with my friend, for some reason a second one always appears right afterwards. I don't know why I get the 2-for-1 special with Groudons. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate him. I hate that. That's why Zygarde is better than you.